Hi everybody, welcome to MJ's Blues, MJ's Handmaids, some of YouTube's worst videos, not tutorials, but kind of like follow-alongs. Alright, I am not a professional artist, I'm not a professional jewelry designer, I'm not a professional or even really skilled wire crafter. I just have some years behind me and I like it. So, and today, as you can see, I have some pendants that need chains or necklaces so that people can wear them, or I can wear them. It doesn't matter. I just attached a couple of new opals to this pendant, which is just a beautiful pendant. And these that I have been making, they come from a tutorial from Erica Pell. WireWrapTutorials.com, I believe, is the address. You can find it there. These are really cool looking pendants. I did it with a rough amethyst for a client. I'm not sure, she hasn't really confirmed or not yet if she wants to follow through with this, and I really hope so. It's quite unique. It's a one of a kind, of course, because these are made by nature, and it's just natural, hasn't been cut, hasn't been treated whatsoever. So, but pick up the tutorial because these are absolutely beautiful. They're not very difficult to make, and people seem to really like them. But the bail on them is a bit small, narrow. So this is a couple millimeters. They fit that, but I put jump rings on, and it really can't go, they don't slide nicely, so I'm going to use factory chains for these pendants. It looks just fine. This is what they call red copper, and I don't have accents or opals on this one. It's already listed as is, so I can't alter it at all, but I'm going to be using that for these. So, but if you're interested in them, hit me up, or I have an eBay, and I have my website, and I think I have them listed only at eBay right now, but go check them out. They're really neat. If you are a wire crafter, go get the tutorial. You're going to absolutely love it. Okay, so I want to show you how to make this, and maybe if we have the time, a chain like that. I use these a lot if you're going to make something for somebody, to sell, or for friends, family, yourself. Make a necklace to go with it. Going the whole 9 yards is really worth it, so don't hesitate to do that. But for today, I'm going to be making bails for these. Necklaces for my other pendants, so that they'll be unique and my design. So let me show you how you do that. We'll start with these. What you're going to need is, I'm using 20 gauge throughout the whole mixture. With this particular one, this is the jump rings are actually 18 gauge, and it looks a little off because the size difference of the 20 gauge and the 18 gauge. So it does look a bit off. This I also do with the 20 gauge. These are 20 gauge jump rings. I double them up for the added security, because it is they're small, and it's copper. It could come apart really easy. So these are really neat. They're good for bracelets. They're good for chunky necklaces, even chokers. I use them a lot. I use them for plant hangers, my sun catcher hangers, and I'll embellish them with beads in between a couple of chain links, couple of beads, couple of chain links, and they're really pretty for your sun catchers. So let's see. You're going to need for tools. You'll need 20 gauge or 18 gauge or whichever gauge you really want to use. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't use wrapping wire. I would not go below 21 gauge, 22 gauge, 21, unless you're going to double up on the links and the jump rings, because it's just going to be too small and flimsy. So you'll need cutters. You're going to need some flat nose. If you want to hammer them to add strength, make them a little harder, or give it a little texture, you'll need a hammer, of course, and a block to hammer them on. Use my 300-pound block or my portable anvil. This here I screw right down to my handy dandy toolbox so I can use it on the road. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to use, what do we have handy? 20 gauge. Oh, you'll need this. I forgot. If you don't have, let's see, dump ring maker, bail maker. I call it a bail maker. I believe that's even what it's called on the labels. So if you don't have that, you can use your needle nose, your round nose, these little guys. I do keep in mind, mine are shot. I need new ones. They're wiggling back and forth, so I don't get perfect. I have to really work it right now, so I got to get me a new pair. In the years that I've been doing this, these are actually a Beetlon. Yeah, they're a Beetlon, and I'm surprised that they've lasted me this long. These are about 10 years old, this pair, and so I'm really happy. Lost one of my springs in there. So, and they used to squeak, so I miss that squeak, and they don't spring open a lot, but enough for my wire to come out. So that's what you're going to need, and possibly a measuring tool. I'm going to go by inches, and what I'm going to do is just cut off a couple of inches, 1 inch each for this. When you straighten out your wire, you don't have to, you're not making ribbon curls, put it that way. So you're just reshaping. So gentle bends. You can do it with your thumb, your fingers brushing across. You can use your nylons for it, but don't be too hard with it, because you're just gonna recurve it, rebend it. Okay, we're gonna do about 1 inch each piece. I could cheat, just go down 12 and cut, but you can do it like this too. Ouch. Okay, right back. Okay, okie dokie. So that's 1, 2. You can line them up, or you can stick with the ruler. Line them up to cut them. Use a flat end of the flat end, not the indent. If you have flush cutters, it's probably easier. But we're just going to do 3 real quick right now. Just the way they are, just like that. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the small one. I believe it's like 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters. I'm not exactly sure. I never measured it. 3. That's a 3 millimeter. So, boop. Bring your wire to the tip so you can't feel it, and you'll get a pretty good round. These are also Beetlon, and these really are awful. This pair, anyways. It has a flat. Inside is flat, kind of flat, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be round. Now you're going to loop it one direction, and now go in the opposite direction on the other end. And that's it. That's kind of like an infinity, but not. More like an S. And that's one. And it's overlapping. And excuse my nails. I've been really busy with the wire this week and ate my nails up. So I'll try to beautify them. Maybe later. Oops. Try to stay on camera for you. You're going to hammer them, so you don't have to be perfect closing them right now, because they're going to reopen or overlap, and you're going to be making slight adjustments. But just make sure you go in the opposite directions when you loop them. Each one is an inch long. Each wire that I cut is an inch long, so I get the same size. See? And then for jump rings, I'll go stick with the 20 gauge, and I'll show you real quick how to make some. I usually just stick on the spool to make them, but for the video I'm going to do it real quick for you. I'm going to keep them to 3mm. So back into the jump ring makers. You're going to give it, when you first start it, you're going to give it a slight bend up so that you can get around the initial starting point, the end of the wire where you started to wrap. And because this is soft and I'm not really holding it onto the point here too hard with the other side, because I don't want to crush it, I'm holding it, and I'm with both hands I'm twisting at the same time, so I'm wrapping the wire around the tool and I'm using the tool to twirl at the same time. So because otherwise it's just going to go around and around and I won't get any coils. That's too small. And then to cut them, you always just do one at a time. Right up against the edge. That one didn't cut very well. I won't do all of them. I'm just enough. Gonna open one up. Actually, first we're going to hammer. Oh, get this big old thing out. It's gonna make a lot of noise. And you just want to harden them and kind of let the hammer do all the work. If you wanted to flare them, go ahead, if you know how to do that. But kind of silly to do. Not really, actually adds to the look, uniqueness. I'm not hammering too hard. Again, I'm letting the hammer, I'm just kind of guiding it. The copper is very soft, I'm just making it a little harder. That way if there's it can handle the weight of the pendants. And perhaps it might get stuck on something. Instead of it breaking off immediately, it'll stay, but won't be perfect. Okay, now that we have these, I'm going to close, make sure my loops are closed. Make sure this part, that part is closed. But doing that, I'm just gonna, these are bent. I've had these about 10 years too, and they're jamming. I got them for prong ring making, specifically prong making, not just rings. I close them up. Oh, my nails are shot. I can't pick anything up. You close them up. Some people will file them down so they match up really nice. That's a good idea. One of the reasons is so that your jump rings don't get caught on the where it connects, because that's a real pain. I know you know what I'm talking about. We all have experienced that. I think I've already done all of them. Just closing it up. A little smudge. And take a jump ring. I want to open this sucker up. And I want to just put these together like so. Come on. And again, because this is 20 gauge, I'll do two. I'll put 2 jump rings on for the added security. But this gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on there. And it makes it so that it will lay a lot nicer too. That's why I put the jump rings on. Otherwise they bunch up. And I think I have one section that's just, right here. There's no jump rings holding these two together, so they're not going to lay down flat nice like. So, but with the jump ring, you can get them to lay down flat, and it's just much nicer and more comfortable around your neck. And that's why I do the jump rings. Okay, so you know how to do this. Let's do, we don't need the block anymore. Not for these. This here, you can go, an inch might be too small. I'm going to go with 2 inches with this one. And let's see, I got a scrap piece. Yeah. And it feels like a 20 gauge. So let's go with a couple of inches here. What to do with that? Actually, I'm going to do 1.5 inches and see it is a little maned. I'm going to go 1.5 inches. Again, make sure you keep your measurements the same, so your links will be all uniformed. Let's get you out of the way. That'll be a good class. With this, again, keeping uniformed, I'm going to use my tool. You don't have to. You can use this, but to keep your loops uniformed, I would mark where you're going to loop them, because you might want smaller loops than the 3mm. So let's say you want a 2mm. So I would mark my needle nose so that each one that I put in to loop will be the same size. That way you keep them uniformed. But I'm going to use these because it's quick. And I don't have to do any other work. These I'm going to loop first, loop them in the same direction. So you have mirrored ends, twins matching, like so. And then depending on how much you want it, how big you want it, yeah, I did that wrong. And that is that. We'll do this one again. That really came out a bit messed up. Nope. That might. Straighten it out a bit. So maybe 1.5 inch is too small, but that is a bit small. So let's go a little bit bigger. And that's a 20 gauge, right? Like you can answer me. I'm gonna go 2 inches. Two. There we go. Let's try this again. I'm gonna get these done at the same time. We're going with 2 inches. That's another cool thing about these, making earrings and stuff. You can put your wires in at the same time. And everything stays nice and uniform. If you mess one up, both of them will be messed up identically. Okay. Again, get them centered on the next size down. Try to center them anyways. I'll do one at a time. Close. And that's going to work out nice. Blink. Centered. Put them together. Bring it up a little. Give it a pinch so these are closed. And just straighten it out. It's not a big deal. Anybody who says it is, they're just cranky. And I wouldn't worry about it. And there you have it. Okay, now to put them together. And open them back up. Just hold them, and then I hold and pull. Make sure they're going in the same direction. So your loops are up. Put this back in. Bring it down. And there you have it. Do that with a bunch of them. I don't really know how many. This here is, let's see, we did 1.5 inches. Each one measures out to approximately, not approximately, we've got a ruler right in front of us. What's that? About almost 1/2 inch. So if you want to do a 12-inch necklace, you're going to make 24 of these. So just keep that in mind. Do your math. It's basic math. You learn it in kindergarten these days. So keep up the good work, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Again, I'm Marlene Schiffer from MJ's Blues and Dance Club, a live virtual blues venue inside of SecondLife.com. You should check it out. It's an amazing place. It's a hell of a lot better than any social network you've ever joined, because it's not a social network. It's cool. Hit the follow button or like buttons or subscribe buttons, the buttons you find at YouTube. Go ahead and follow me in Facebook if you want to. I even have a group in there. So have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.